welcome to another episode of the Overcoming Financial Trauma podcast. I'm your host, Rakim Sabri, and we're going to talk about therapy today. I have a special guest. I'll let him introduce himself, but the reason why this guest is special is because we met way back in 2008 as freshmen in college. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, tell them about your brand and your message, and we'll jump into the conversation.
Word. First dude I made on campus, but we can get into that. My name is Mel The Prophet. I am a mental health advocate slash rapper slash artist, songwriter. My brand here, you see, help oneself. Here, love only brings eternity. Help oneself, represent mental health. Love only brings eternity, a positive self-awareness brand. And I just represent mental health and a good word of putting peace, positivity, and love into the universe and all different forms to do, clothing, music, do give backs, and just being a decent person. So,
yeah, let's jump into the music side of things really quickly because I think this is gonna shake up the kind of normal flow. So in the previous episodes that I've recorded, I've had therapists, I've had PhDs. And we're always talking about financial trauma through an academic lens. But I want to talk about like trauma from the perspective of how you feel, right? Mm-hmm. So music, and I follow your content pretty regularly. Music is a medium not only to express yourself, but also that people connect to make themselves feel good. So talk about how your journey, and I'm gonna go way back. I remember back in 2008, you was involved with music, you was rapping. So talk about how your journey through music has had an impact on your mental health and maybe what feedback you've gotten from your audience around the impact on their mental health through your music.
Word. For you to say that, when in 2008, I used to be rapping, but like I never really had the intention or even mindset like, I want to rap. I just like to do it. So like when you say that, it kind of shocks me. Like for real, I was actually like rapping in front of people, like, because I really don't remember like, yo, I'm a rapper, or like I want to rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's times I'll be around people rapping, I'll just be quiet, like, damn, I could rap, but like I'm kind of shy right now. But so you say that kind of shocks me, and I'm kind of glad to hear that too, though. But for my mental health, music has been like, honestly, it has been the therapy for me. Like my whole life, just holding in, keeping everything inside, family, what I've been through in family, what I've been through in my life. Like I was kind of too, I wouldn't say shy, but just too embarrassed to even say certain things. And music has allowed me to like, there's no way to hold back, and it's like, I made a vow to myself to like, always be true with what I'm saying, even if no one understands, likes, appreciates. So like music has been like my way of just like letting loose, like for the most part, everybody knows me as a calm, happy, positive person, but like deep down, I've been holding so much pain. So it was like letting that out. A lot of people have looked at me like, damn, like, is that you? Like, you've been holding that in for that long? Because, like people who know me, like, you never showed that side of you. And it's like, yeah, but I've been holding it in. So, and it's gravitated me to, to people who say just like me prior, afraid to express or don't know how to express or too cool or damn, I don't think anybody else is going through that. But like, no, we all going through it. And I just made it like my not just my purpose, but like my thing to like say that thing that maybe, especially rappers, right, don't really want to say about themselves, whether good or bad, you know what I'm saying? So just representing that, just bringing that awareness, you know what I'm saying? Bringing that awareness to like the forefront, like now we all go through some shit, you know what I'm saying? Type thing. So
yeah, definitely. What I like about that message and drawing parallels to the world of personal finance, right, is that finance is a taboo topic, right? So we talk about feelings being a taboo topic, especially as a man in today's society, but finance has a taboo associated where, like you described, people are struggling more than just in like their income and expenses, but their relationship with money. And so in their struggle, there's shame, there's guilt, there's a reluctance to talk about it because they feel like somebody's going to judge them or treat them a certain way or not treat them a certain way. And I like that you use music as a medium to kind of like just be free, like you said, like express yourself and normalize the expression in whatever medium that takes. In the same way that that this podcast really is talking about financial trauma. I think when we look at personal finance as a whole, and it's a very broad spectrum, that most people are talking about how do you make money, how do you save money, like how do you build credit. We're talking about a lot of the foundational things, but we're not getting under the hood and talking about, well, why do you make the decisions that you make around money, or what are the experiences that you've had early on in life that shape your relationship with money. So I'll ask you, do you have any instances that you remember that you're willing to share early in life that kind of shaped your relationship with money as a child, and how does that look different today?
Yes. As a child, I had everything handed to me. Like I didn't really have to work for much, to be completely honest. So after college, right, it put me in a place where, like, you know, I'm starting to really see the world and the real world of, like, you know, being responsible, because I didn't really have responsibilities, you know? So it put me into a dark hole, not just about money, but just being an adult, right? So once I got out of college and I realized, like, I'm actually in a place of, like, not knowing what I'm doing as a man, growing into a man, young man. Now I want to face what the bottom feels like. Like I want to face what it's like to have nothing, because I've had everything. So I remember I was 22, and I remember I had like $6,000-7,000 saved under my dress, under my bed. I wasn't working. My mom was kind of sick, right? And I said, I'm gonna, like, spend this money, whatever I'm doing, right? Eating, whatever. I'm gonna spend this money and I'm gonna go broke. And I'm gonna figure something out. So, like, I didn't really have the knowledge of how to really utilize money, because no one, I say no one, but I didn't have anybody to teach me. So I wanted to figure out, like, let me just not have any money. What am I gonna do to really hone in on how I can get it and save it, get it and invest it somewhere, or do something to build it up. So, like, as a child, like I said, you know, I didn't have no responsibilities. I didn't have to work for anything that I got. I got anything that I asked for. And that put me into a place as a man, like, you're still a child, you know? And so it took me to go through that, to now, you know, learning more about money and how it works. And I'm still not the most knowledgeable, you know, I'll put my hands up to admit that, but it's gave me that wanting to know, now to, like, do my own little, like, let me talk to people, let me ask, or let me read it, because I wasn't taught it. So it changed everything, because now as I see my children, I put myself in their shoes. You're not getting everything like I did. You know what I'm saying? If you want some, you're gonna have to do some type of work for it. You know, like, I'm not gonna just spoil you because I love you. I'm not gonna just spoil you because you deserve it. Like, no, you're gonna understand certain things that once you get older, you'll understand it. Like myself, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective of now and then and then and now, to, you know, to understand money and where I'm at now type.
So if you could go back and do that experience over again, would you have done it the same? Like, would you have put yourself in a situation where you had to?
Yo, hell no, bro. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? I would be so smart with that. You know what I'm saying? I would be so smart and way more, you know, knowledgeable and wise. But what I was doing, but at that time, I was just so, like, lost and so, like, prideful as well, to talk to anybody, to, you know, ask anything. Like, I was all that in one, and I was just felt embarrassed being at that age and having, you know, a little decent amount of money at that age. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what should I do with this? Instead, I just, like, let me figure out what struggle is. Let me figure out. So it was a catch-22 in a sense, because it really taught me to, appreciate. It really taught me to be grateful. It really taught me to like learn how to work with nothing, you know what I'm saying? And humble me in a certain aspect. So catch-22, to be honest.
Yeah. I like this conversation so far because a lot of people talk about their money mistakes from the perspective of like not putting themselves in that situation. It sounds like this was a situation where you had what you needed or you had what you wanted, but you were kind of like you wanted struggle because you didn't have structure. And I think that that's real when we think about. I mean, even when I think about my experience in my early 20s as a young man, nobody could tell me anything, right? It was just kind of like, nah, like I'm grown, I'm doing what I want, like. And I think that that's a really big obstacle that is not often highlighted when we have these conversations, particularly about how to educate young people around money. And young people specifically from like rougher environments or from the hood, because there is it's kind of like this idea floating around that, oh, financial literacy is the solve, right? If you just teach them about money early, then they won't make these mistakes. But there's so many dimensions and layers to that around, and I mean, you articulated it very beautifully. Just feeling like, okay, I'm privileged, right? And I wanna taste what struggle feels like, or I want to prove myself, or I want to be independent. And so I think it's a really holistic, rather it should be a really holistic approach to the education, in that it's not just 1 + 1 = 2, right? You put your money in your savings account and you budget and you spend less than you make, but more so like life skills as applied to it, and the psychology of like, why are you making this decision? What is cause and effect? What are you struggling with right now that will then have implications around how you use your money? So I think that's refreshing. That's definitely good for the audience. Um, so where are you at now in terms of just career, in terms of your relationship with money, in terms of music? Like, what is like your main focus? I know you mentioned you have children and you're trying to like show them the way too. What is your main focus around the work that you're doing and building your brand?
Now, I'm learning to be more structured, because I have a problem with being um I have a problem with involving myself in chaos, like Picasso. It looks chaotic to the world, but it looks perfect to you. I'm so used to that now I'm at a place where I can't live like that, right? Because I'm learning what I've learned in the past like 2 years. I may be able to deal with it, right, in my own aspect, but it's affecting other people in ways where they're not able to deal with it through me, right? And being a person that is dealing with a lot of people, I've noticed in the past few years the effect it has on other people, which now I'm more like, okay, let me be more structured, more organized with not just my finances, just with life in general, right? So now I'm working in a nonprofit with recovering addicts. So now I'm in a place and position to guide and to teach other people, not just money, not just emotions, just like you said, life skills. So I have to be that example where I wasn't always that example, to show that example. So that's where I'm at now, is just really structuring myself to actually be that in the finance world, because in the emotional and the mental world, I believe I'm there. In the finance world, I'm structuring myself to actually really be there. And now it's like, okay, like, because I don't go out. I don't, what I'm saying? I don't really spend loosely. But now I'm learning to, like, whatever I'm making, let me find ways to put it, even if it's $1, $2, somewhere where it's coming back somehow, some way, more than if I just go put it under my bed. You know what I'm saying? Or go put it in the banks, things like that. So, and just honestly studying and learning from people like yourself, and learning from people who actually walk that walk, where it's not my thing, but I know it's a thing that I need for me to advance in what I'm attempting to do. So that's transparently that's where I'm at right now in my life, to be honest.
Do you use your past experiences in like your guidance to other people? Like how do you use your past experiences, like the things that you've overcome, the things that you learned, really wisdom, right? How do you
Yeah.
use that in educating and encouraging other people to maybe follow a similar path?
It's a quote. I don't know who says it, right? But they say a smart man learns from their own mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. And I like to be the example. Like, learn from me. Like, learn from me not doing the right thing. You being in that similar position now where I did this, led me down to a position where I shouldn't be in. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I may not have the answers, but I have the answer to not have the answer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, learn from that, and put yourself in and put your knowledge, put your eyesight, your ears to people like you know what I'm saying? Like, people who know, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, if I don't know, I ain't gonna sugarcoat and say I know, to be honest. So it's like, I know I don't know, but I know you can learn, maybe here, maybe there. So it's like, I'll direct, like, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. So
Yeah. You have a kind of like a quote or a saying that I really enjoy on social media around how therapy has saved your life. Talk a little bit about that concept and how that became a part of your branding and why it's so important for you to get that message out in front of other people.
It became very, very, like, ideal for me, dealing with recovering addicts. Like, I never been a recovering addict. I never really used a drug to know how the mindset of an addict works, right? So, long story short, I had a buddy. He had a recovery center. I came through, showing some love. Long story short, he asked me to, like, facilitate a group, like, group. They call it group therapy, right? And I'm like, I never done it. Sure, I would love to, right? Because in my heart, in my mind, I always saw myself doing that, but I never didn't go to school for it. Don't have a degree, but I just felt like I'm a good listener. I'm a good person to give good advice from a good perspective, right? So I ran the group. The clients liked me. I liked it. It was cool. It's not like I was talking and I was just having conversation, and we were all having conversation, right? So that was in 2020, and I stayed with the company. I'm still there, and I'm just seeing, because we have clients in and out, right? And I'm seeing clients, some on meds, some not on meds, some medically cleared to, smoke marijuana, some not. Seeing the behaviors, this and that, and it's like, knowing the therapist within the recovery center, and seeing and talking to them and seeing their help to the clients, and just seeing it from not just a third person, but from a fourth, fifth perspective, right? And me personally, I always was prideful when I ever even thought about therapy, because it's like, I can therapize, I could give my own self therapy. I know me better than anybody, like, you can't tell me who I am. You can't tell me what I feel. So I had you could say ego thing in a subconscious way, an ego thing to even share what I wanted to say in a therapeutic way, right? But it has taught me to humble myself, right? It has taught me to humble myself to, like, just because I know a little bit doesn't mean that I don't go through the same thing that these recovered addicts go through. Just hearing their story, hearing what they're going through, hearing the desire to help themselves, hearing the desire to, like, figure something out. It's like, yo, I go through that same thing. Like, not in maybe that way, but I go through that same thing. And in their eyes, they're looking at me like, yo, you're good. Like, you're not in recovery. You're nah, in reality, like, shit, I need therapy too. Cause I have those same, to you, right? The same crazy thoughts. I'm having those same thoughts today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like, it really put me in a position like, yo, like, so I was start talking to, the therapists in the recovery center, not as, staff, but like, let me open up, let me open up. Let me hear what you got to say to me, in a sense of me being in the chair where they are. So it really really humbled me, and it really like gave me a sense of relief. Like therapy is it, right? Like, cause I can, I can do a lot of personal development work, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of reflection, but like speaking it out and hearing someone say something like immediate, not like, oh, here, take my song, listen to it, tell me what you think. No, take what I'm saying to you, say something to me, give me something back. Like that dialogue was very like empowering. Like I would walk out the room like, wow, like I have clarity within my own self about something that I thought I had clarity about, but I really didn't, like, because I would think and say I'm seeing it from, all perspectives. But when I'm hearing, this therapist tell me something different from the perspective I think I have, it's like, yo, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Or I just needed just to let that out, So that's why therapy changed my life. And I feel like being a person who's an influencer, like being vulnerable, it has shown so much strength, because it's like, I think I'm a cool person, right? I'm not saying I want to be cool, right? But like, if I'm cool and I can say that I like therapy or that I got problems, who wouldn't or who don't, right? And it's like, people need to see people in that influencer level, like, yo, I go through it too. So the people that's following them and the people that's supporting them, like, yo, like, because at the end of the day, we all human. We all got to wake up. We all got to take a shit. We all got to shower. We all got to eat. We all got to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm really no different, even if I have a gift, right? Even if you may think my gift is whatever, but I'm still human. And like, I just feel like being that awareness and being that reminder to the world, like, is kind of like why I think, therapy and mental health is like, is my thing. Cause like we need it, you know what I'm saying? Like we need it.
I agree with you. I think everything that you said was spot on, but what I really resonated with is the idea that public figures or influencers or creators, whatever the term that we want to use is, often get deified in that people view us through the lens of like, we don't have the same struggles or we don't have the same issues, whether they be financial or otherwise. And I think it was episode 2, I had a guest on and we were talking about like, how do you separate your identity from your struggle, particularly financially? And so this is just kind of like a callback to that. Like, even the people who are out here teaching, the people who are out here doing the work, the people who like seemingly have all the answers, when we know the reality is that nobody has all the answers. Even all of us have our own challenges, obstacles, and struggles when it comes to just life, right? Like, not even through just the financial lens, but life in general. And that message of yours, therapy saved my life, really resonates with me as I look at and become more involved in the financial therapy community, because most people don't know what financial therapy is. Most people haven't heard of financial therapy or would not look at finances and therapy in the same sentence. But
which I love, by the way, too.
Thank you. I mean, I can't take credit for creating it, but there's a whole community of people out there who are starting to hone in on the fact that financial psychology is as important or more important than the behaviors, because the behaviors are dictated by how we view and what we believe about money. So as the community of financial therapists and people who are addressing financial psychology grows, and there is more of a normalization around mental health awareness, pursuing therapy, making it okay to talk to somebody about whatever the issue is. I think this like the perfect collaboration, because within our community, and our community specifically, right, there is this stigma that says you can't have feelings, you can't express your feelings, you can't like going to see a mental health counselor or a therapist is a sign of weakness or vulnerability. And really what you're doing, the work that you're doing, is kind of flipping that on its side and saying, no, like I can be a fully formed, strong, person and still be vulnerable. And I think through the work that you do, you also give permission to people to have those same feelings, or to at least explore those same feelings and say, you know what, like I do have something that I want to talk about, or I do have something that is bothering me. And if he could do it, I could do it.
Right.
So yeah, I just want to kind of tell the audience who doesn't know the background and how we got to this point. I saw a post of yours on Facebook around collaborating. You said something to the effect of, you know, I want to collaborate with who wants to collaborate with me. And I was like, man, this is a great opportunity for the blending of these two worlds, especially because, you know, with the early stages of this podcast, and I think we're on like episode 4 or 5 now, it's been mostly academic content. So like really stuffy, for people who are not in the community, maybe a little bit boring. And I think that it's so important to hear the stories of regular everyday people who, like, maybe this is not what they, you know, eat, sleep, and breathe all day, but who can connect to the message around the importance of acknowledging mental health, acknowledging finances, acknowledging the connection between both. And I just think that the work that you do is so great. So I wanted to highlight you especially as well.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Likewise, bro. Likewise. Like I said, I'm honored to be on here, man. I'm honored to be on here, bro. I'm honored just to talk to you, for real. I mean that.
So what's next for you? I know you know every day is every day, right? But what's your big goal with your brand, with this message? What would you like to see happen, let's say in the next 1.5 to 2 years?
Bringing everything together, right? Like, and everything as in, you know, like for me, right? I'm working in a nonprofit dealing with recovering addicts, you know, who's going to, you know, recovery center, dealing with therapy. I have my brands, self-awareness, mental health. I'm in the stew. That's the name of it, right? I'm in the stew making music where I'm blending that with my interests, with what I've been through, with entertainment. And I'm also, you know, a sidestep. I'm in the fitness world where I'm utilizing that also for my mental health, right? And I'm somewhat creating a fitness brand to not just represent fitness, but to bring mental health into, you know, collaborating with fitness, right? So what I see is bringing all that together to operate a conglomerate of pursuing the greater good of humanity, right? And you know, obviously in 1 year that's not going to happen the way I vision it, because you know the vision is huge. But in the next year is just having it more structured, where now I'm able to collab with the individuals who are 100%, 1,000% in each of those industries that I may put my feet in. Where now I'm able to not just collab, but connect with the people I'm collabing, so we can fulfill, you know, the mission of empowering and pushing that great word through not just aspect of mental health, but the aspect of financial literacy, the aspect of fitness, the, you know, so it's like I see myself as a connector rather than a plug. You know, I see myself connecting plugs together so we can have this big electricity for a big house where we're all in our aspect of where we're, you know, our thing, where we're pushing that good word, you know, from of love, of positivity. So that's where I see myself in the next year. Because I was just telling somebody yesterday, it's like the position I'm in, I'm like literally, I can't, like I'm in like the greatest position that I ever wanted right now. And I feel like I'm not even taking advantage of the way I should, honestly, right? But like I know I'm in the greatest position that I desire to be in. It's just now I have to take advantage of it in the best of my ability to do and to add value to everyone that I'm involved with, everyone that I'm attempting to add value to. So in the next year or two, that's where I see it. Honestly, I see myself being more free, where I'm able to do these things. I'm able to create music fluently and allow my music to just do what it do, and things in that nature. So that's what I see in the next like year or two.
And you just recently released new music, right?
Yes, sir. With my man right here, Gemini. We in his studio.
We on live, my bad.
Yeah,
talk about plug up your music. I'll definitely include the link in the show notes. But talk about the new music that you just released. Whatever you want to share.
New music, Lo Siento, with my man Gemini and myself. Basically it's like a rebirth for me, right? So prior to this music, I've been putting out a lot of my pain music, a lot of my mental health, a lot of my emotional. And for the past year, I've been connected with Gemini, and our connection is just like it connects, right? But what has happened is I'm able to now experience my personality through my music. So this music, the song we just dropped, Lo Siento, is me speaking Spanish and speaking English, and is allowing myself to, make a party song. It's really a party song. I haven't really made a party song. Haven't really made a uppity, positive song. You know what I'm saying? So this is like that transition into allow the people to know, like, I'm more than just, this dark mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me add some flavor to it. And our connection is like it's like Wade and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing to experience and a beautiful thing to see in a third perspective. But yeah, Lo Siento is out on all platforms, a mixture of Spanish and English, and it's just a start of some great music that's coming. To be humbly honest with you, it's a start to some great music that's coming, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you. It sounds like you are on a path to really blend like holistically. Just I love the word that you use, empowerment, through physical health, through mental health, through music, through fun. And so I want to encourage you to keep going. Tell the audience where they can find you. What are you active on your social media?
I'm active on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Facebook, my name is Melvin Smith. Everywhere else is Mel The Prophet, MELTHEPROPHET. You can check out my website, helponeself.com. My other website, fitness website, mixmaxtraining.com. The stew.com is coming soon. It's the studio with my man Gemini. That's it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you spending time with me and with the audience.
Thank you.
And like I said, I'm gonna plug up all of what you shared in the show notes.
Keep going, man. Keep going, bro. I'm rooting for you. I'm a supporter of yours. I'm a fan. I believe in you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. Honestly.
I appreciate that. So this has been another episode of Overcoming Financial Trauma, and we are out.